Okay, let's unpack this. Picture this common frustration. You open the dishwasher, expecting that clean, steamy smell, but instead you find stubborn grease clinging to the rim of a bowl. Or worse, that annoying puddle of dirty water sitting right in the base of your cups.
It's that little moment of defeat in the kitchen, isn't it? Our sources, which include a really detailed guide on optimizing modern dishwashers, suggest that when this happens, most of us, well, we blame the machine. Or maybe the detergent.
Yeah, that's my first thought. This thing is broken.
But the data tells a different story. The guide claims that 8 out of 10 users are making fundamental, avoidable mistakes when they're just loading the machine.
Wow, 8 out of 10. That's a massive majority.
It is.
That statistic really drives home how universal this is. So the solution isn't a new appliance, it's better knowledge. Our deep dive today is designed to give you that precise, actionable knowledge, covering everything from, the geometry of loading to necessary maintenance routines, so you can stop that frustrating rewashing by hand and, well, save some time and energy.
What's really fascinating here is realizing that a dishwasher isn't just a giant sealed box that magically cleans things.
Right.
Its performance really hinges on some surprisingly basic physics. It's not about how hard the cycle works, it's about access. We need to stop viewing loading as just stuffing dishes in and start thinking of it more like choreography.
Choreography, I like that.
Yeah, choreography designed to maximize water contact. And we can distill this down to 3 core principles that solve, the vast majority of problems.
Okay, so let's start there, with the physics of clean. Before we get to where things go, how does it actually work?
Well, unlike a sink where water is static, the dishwasher cleans with high-temperature, high-pressure water blasting from rotating spray arms.
Right, there's usually one on the bottom and one under the middle rack.
Exactly. And the key thing to understand is if that pressurized water jet can't physically hit the soiled surface, the cleaning just fails. It's that simple.
And that's where the user error comes in.
Precisely. The source emphasizes this phenomenon called shadowing. So when dishes overlap, or if you lay a deep bowl flat on the rack,
which I've definitely done.
We all have. The item in front acts like a physical shield. It blocks the water and the detergent from reaching whatever is behind it.
So you get these weirdly specific dirty spots.
You do. It's clean where the water hits, and it's still dirty in the shadow. That's your lingering grease.
Okay, so based on that fundamental understanding, pressure and shadowing, what are the universal rules the guide says we need to follow?
To fix, 90% of your loading problems right away, you just need to remember 3 principles. We've distilled these from the sources.
Okay, let's have it.
First, do not overlap dishes. You've got to ensure there's space between every single item so water can flow all around it.
Simple enough.
Second, tilt the dishes slightly. Always. This creates a drainage angle so dirty water flows off and clean water doesn't pool at the end.
And number 3.
And third, and this is a crucial pre-run check, do not obstruct the rotation of the spray arms. If you stick to just these 3, the machine can actually do its job.
So once we understand the physics, where do people go wrong when they actually start stacking? Let's apply those rules to each basket.
Good idea.
Starting with the upper basket, which handles, smaller bowls and all our utensils.
Utensils are a great example of a common oversight. Standard spoons and chopsticks, they usually fit fine in the designated slots.
Sure.
But the sources point out a really clever hack for items that are less uniform, particularly decorative things or children's utensils.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. If you have handles that are bulky or kind of oddly shaped, like my kid's plastic fork, they tend to catch on the basket wire.
Right. And when the spray arms kick in with all that force, that item just moves around, shifts position.
And ends up blocking something else or not even getting itself clean.
Precisely. The trick is a simple reversal. Insert those utensils upside down.
Handle down.
Handle down. The basket wire is often a bit deeper or more reinforced at the bottom, so it stabilizes that heavier handle during the wash cycle. This keeps the business end exposed and motionless.
That is a genius piece of practical advice.
Yeah.
Okay, moving down to the middle and lower baskets. This is where we encounter the dreaded water trap.
Yes.
Where dishes get clean, but they still manage to collect standing water.
The classic rice bowl or coffee cup phenomenon, yeah. Cups and bowls with those high bases or feet are just notoriously prone to pooling water if they're not tilted aggressively enough.
And then when you pull the rack out, that pooled water sloshes everywhere.
With everything below it.
And it's not exactly sparkling, clean water that's pooling, is it?
It is not. So to ensure proper drainage, you need strategic placement. The guide recommends placing these deep-based items facing the front of the lower basket.
So specifically the front.
The front. That specific angle, combined with the slight pitch of the rack, allows that pooled water to exit immediately downwards. It just clears the vessel as soon as the cycle ends.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I've heard conflicting advice on specialized items like silicone baby products, bottles, containers, that kind of thing. Is there a serious risk there?
It's a bit of both, but it's mostly centered on safety. Dishwashers use really high heat and steam to sanitize.
Right.
Silicone items are safe only if they are explicitly marked food grade.
And what does that mean exactly?
That marking means they've passed really stringent government-mandated tests to confirm that harmful substances won't leach into food when they're exposed to those high temperatures. If there's no rating and you use the heavy sanitation cycle, you are taking a risk.
Got it. So assuming they are food grade and safe to use, silicone is also incredibly light. I can just imagine the powerful jets flipping a bottle nipple right over.
Oh, they absolutely will. And a flipped item immediately pools water and, blocks the spray paths for other things.
So how do you stop that?
It's a simple solution. You just secure any lightweight silicone item using a small, heat-resistant clip or pin and attach it firmly to the basket wire. That prevents movement and keeps the item exposed.
Okay. Beyond item safety, let's talk space efficiency. How do we maximize the load without breaking that no overlap rule?
You can actively utilize those residual, often ignored spaces. For instance, the lower basket often has small gaps near the edges.
Yeah, where the plates don't quite reach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have thin items, like small cutting boards, you can just gently slide them into those spaces. They still get the full spray pattern, and you maximize the load, which is great for conserving water and electricity.
And a great simple tip from the source for those of us who rarely host dinner parties. The wine glass racks.
Oh, yeah. If you don't frequently wash tall stemware, those dedicated fold-down wine glass racks are just taking up valuable vertical space.
Totally. They get in the way of bowls in the upper basket.
They do, and the sources confirm that these racks are easily detachable. They often just slide out of a slot. Just remove it. It's better to have that extra flexibility for your daily load.
Okay, so before we move on, let's circle back to Rule 3. The spray arms. We've loaded everything perfectly, or so we think. What's that final crucial step?
It's the pre-flight check, and it's probably the most frequently ignored step in the whole process.
Which is?
Once the dishwasher is fully loaded, you must manually spin the upper and lower spray arms with your hand. Just give them a gentle push.
To see if they hit anything.
Exactly. If either arm is stopped short by a stray bowl or a plate edge or an awkward utensil handle, you have to rearrange the dishes. This physical check prevents a silent failure. If those arms can't spin freely, the cleaning performance will be severely compromised.
Guaranteed dirty dishes.
Guaranteed.
Okay, that's a really practical step. Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, loading efficiently is only half the battle. Knowing what not to wash is just as important.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you risk damaging valuable items or even the machine itself. We've got to be strict about the exclusion list. We have 5 specific categories of items that should always stay out.
Starting with anything organic, I'd guess?
You'd be right. Wood or wooden items. Wood is naturally porous. Subjecting it to the extreme heat and the long soaking in a dishwasher cycle, it just causes the grain to swell and then contract.
It warps and cracks.
Warps, cracks, and it destroys any protective varnish. It just fundamentally compromises the utensil. Hand washing is essential for wood.
Okay, what about the beautiful but more delicate display items?
That's category 2. Gilded or plated dishes. Think cups or plates with those gold or silver rims.
Right.
The combination of high heat, corrosive detergents, and pressurized water. It basically acts as an abrasive stripper. Those metallic accents will fade, get stained, and turn spotty after just a few washes.
And generally things that just aren't rated for that extreme environment.
That's category 3. Items without a dishwasher safe mark. This covers a lot of cheaper plastics and coated items. The high heat can damage coatings, cause warping, or even leach material from things not built for it. Don't gamble if you don't see the mark.
Okay, category 4 is a huge point of debate. Non-stick cookware. The manufacturers often claim it's safe.
This one requires a bit of scrutiny. While the pan itself, the metal, might survive, the critical element, the non-stick coating, suffers immensely.
How so?
The high-pressure washing and powerful detergents severely reduce the lifespan of the coating. The dishwasher doesn't just damage it, it accelerates its failure. Hand washing is strongly recommended to preserve that coating.
So it's not about immediate damage, but dramatically shortening the life of an expensive pan.
Exactly. You are trading convenience now for replacement costs later. And finally, we need to talk about sharp tools. Sharp knives and scissors.
You got to preserve your edges, I assume.
Yes. Frequent exposure to high heat and pressure dulls blades remarkably quickly. And beyond that, the handles of older knives, ones with glued or composite handles, can crack or warp. Scissors with rubber or plastic gaskets are especially prone to melting. Just keep them out.
Right, so performance isn't just mechanical. Detergent matters. Let's pivot to chemistry and maintenance, because the wrong product can genuinely break your machine.
The primary safety warning here cannot be overstated. You must use dedicated dishwasher detergent.
Never regular dish soap.
Never. Regular hand dish soap is designed to foam up. If you put that in a machine designed for minimal suds, you will cause excessive foaming that can easily flood your kitchen, push suds into vents and hoses,
A huge mess.
and potentially break internal components.
Okay, so we're using dedicated detergent. We have three main types: gel, tablet, and powder. Can you break down the pros and cons of each?
Sure. The gel is easy to dose. It dissolves instantly. The con is that since it dissolves so fast, it may not disperse evenly in a long cycle, especially in colder water. You might get streaks. The tablet, especially the all-in-one type, is super convenient and has great concentrated cleaning power for really dirty dishes. The downside is they're the most expensive per wash, and, sometimes they get stuck in the dispenser.
Right, and then the whole cycle is wasted. What about powder?
The powder is the most economical because the dosage is fully adjustable. But if you overdose, the residue often shows up as those white spots after the drying cycle.
So the general consensus for balancing efficiency and reliability seems to favor the all-in-one tablet.
Generally, yes. The tablet products that combine detergent and rinse aid are recommended for reliable, consistent cleaning and just sheer ease of use. Powder is still the economical choice if you're running really light loads and you can be precise with the dose.
Let's tackle the most common post-wash annoyance: those stubborn white marks on glasses. People, myself included, often think it's leftover soap.
This raises an important question. What exactly are those spots? It's almost never leftover detergent. Those marks are mineral deposits, specifically calcium and magnesium from hard water. When the hot water evaporates, it just leaves those minerals behind as a white residue.
So how do we combat hard water and these mineral spots?
Two primary solutions, usually integrated into the machine. First, rinse aid. Rinse aid is critical. It acts as a drying agent by drastically reducing the surface tension of the water.
Which means?
It causes the water to sheet off the dish surfaces instead of beating up and pooling. That prevents the spots from forming in the first place. It's beneficial even if your tablet says it includes it.
And there was a strict caution in the sources about the dispenser itself.
Absolutely. Never, ever use household chemicals like white vinegar or citric acid in the rinse aid dispenser. While they can fight minerals, that undiluted acidity can aggressively corrode the internal rubber seals and plastic parts over time.
So stick to dedicated rinse aid. And the second solution?
That applies to users with built-in softeners. A lot of newer, high-end models have them. To keep that system working, you have to replenish it using dedicated dishwasher salt. You add this salt via a specific port, usually under the lower basket. It's what neutralizes the calcium and magnesium in the water. It drastically reduces mineral spotting. If your machine has a salt indicator light, don't ignore it.
Finally, let's talk about taking care of the machine itself. A dirty interior means, well, dirtier dishes and bad odors.
Correct. The machine needs its own maintenance routine to stay at peak efficiency. For frequent users, so daily or more, you should run a tub cleaning cycle every 1 to 2 weeks.
With what?
You can use a commercial cleaner, or a simple, effective alternative is to put citric acid, not vinegar, in the detergent compartment and just run the sanitation or clean mode.
And the most important check for drainage and smells.
That would be the filter. Clogged filters are the #1 cause of poor drainage, bad cleaning, and those unpleasant odors. You have to check the filter monthly, maybe more often if you wash heavily soiled items.
And what about the spray arms themselves?
Yeah, while you're down there, just visually check the spray arm ports for blockage. A tiny seed or a piece of plastic caught in a nozzle can drastically reduce water pressure on one whole side of the machine.
And a simple final tip to keep the inside of the unit fresh.
Airflow is essential. Once the cycle is done, just leave the door slightly ajar when the machine isn't running. It lets the residual moisture escape and prevents that damp environment where mold and odors can develop.
This raises an important question. After dissecting all this, it feels like we've covered 5 key pillars of successful dishwashing, moving from geometry to chemistry to ongoing care.
To synthesize the actionable knowledge, first, arrangement: keep dishes tilted and non-overlapping and always check the spray arms. Second, exclusion: know which materials to avoid damaging.
Wood, gold rims, nonstick.
Right. Third, dedicated detergent, never regular hand soap. Fourth, spot prevention: rely on rinse aid and dedicated softening salt. And fifth, periodic cleaning: maintain the filter, the tub, and the nozzles.
So you now have the precise, distilled knowledge to use your dishwasher to its full potential, turning that frustrating task into a reliable piece of kitchen automation. By implementing these loading and maintenance tips, you really should see immediate improvements.
And we noted the source briefly mentioned something interesting. The option of using multi-purpose, non-glazed ceramic dishes, ones you can cook in, serve in, and eat from, all in the same vessel.
Which drastically reduces the number of items you even need to load.
Exactly.
So while we focused on machine usage, perhaps the ultimate deep dive question for you is, if the goal is efficiency and saving energy, how can you reduce the total volume of dishes you dirty in the first place? Think beyond the clean throws. Think about rethinking the entire process of dining.
That's a great thought to end on.
Thank you for sharing your sources with us for this deep dive. Now go put your learning into practice.